recording.
Okay, I make two mixes, a dry mix and what I call a wet mix. The dry mix I can use for a few days. So in the dry mix, what I do, I use this and I put 2 to 3 wheat bix in it. I just break them up a little bit. So this is the dry mix. Then the dehydrated egg that Jennifer makes for me, I put at least 3 teaspoons that are a bit more than a teaspoon. You can smell that egg. Now, because I only feed mealworms to the birds and there's not a lot of mealworm, I use this same dry mix for the canaries and all the birds. So I put in this Wumbaroo insectivore mix, rosy mix. You wouldn't need to use that if you're using termites, definitely, or if you're using the maggots. I have eggshells all crushed up, because that's important for the breeding. So this is still part of the dry mix. And I'll put 4 or 5 of these little ones in. Then what I'm going to use, which I've only just started using, is the tummy right. One, 2, 3. So the nutritions I see is very important in what we're doing. So the protein to encourage them to go to nest. Now we dehydrate a lot of things, so this is dehydrated kale. My canaries, I give the proper kale straight out of the garden, but we need to dehydrate it for the others. I never have any that really want to eat it, any of my birds. And that includes the parrots. So I just put it. You could actually crush this up to a powder. I'm just going to put some capsicum in there, not much, but when the babies are born for the canaries, I'll be using capsicum crushed up further, and I'll use carrot as well. Bit of spinach. This is dehydrated spinach. Oh! Have to get the vacuum cleaner out there. In their water, canaries, all the birds, I put Solaminovit powder, or Solaminovit powder, or Solvita powder as well I've used. And about once a week I normally put in here some garlic as well that are been dehydrated. So I'll put the lid on that. We got this from Aldi. Good little machine. This goes on the top. So this isn't really my dried biscuit mix. And I just tip it into a bowl. As I said, that will be used for a couple of days, maybe 3 days or even 4 sometimes. So then what I get is some hemp seed. Just put that on top there. Some chia seeds or chia seeds, whatever you want to call it. I haven't got any linseed, but I often use linseed as well. And this is flaxseed. So I put 4 of this in. And then I just mix this into the dry mix because it's all dry. Doesn't have to go in the refrigerator. You can see the kale is in there. With the dry mix, sometimes I'll put it in with, I'll put in a bowl or something with a seed in it, and then I'll just mix that in with the seed. Always losing the lid right in front of my eyes. We do have lettuce, basil, all these others I use at different times in the dry mix. So I'll just put the dry mix over here. Now I'm going to do the wet mix. You can get from Aldi this frozen peas, carrots and sweet corn. It's not very expensive. And you can even dehydrate this as you want if you wish. Or you could just do what I've done here. So what I'm going to do next is cut the eggs in half. And then I put the shell, look at that, neighbour's eggs. So I'll put that in. Then I'm going to put peas and the carrots. I just put them in the, I either leave them out overnight or I put them in the microwave. Then so it looks good enough to eat. I've just got to grab something. Left out some. Looks nice, doesn't it? So what I do is, because I'm not feeding a lot of live food, I'll mix some of this in here as well, a bit more, even though it's in the dry mix, which I'm going to use.
What is it?
The Woombaroo insectivore
Okay.
So then I'm going to use, this is the wet mix. I call it a wet mix because I actually give it to the canaries and Gouldians in the afternoon, because then it's not going to go off. So here I'm going to put the dry food, the dry mix. And as I said, I'll only make the wet mix the next 3 days probably, and I'll just use this dry mix to mix in with it. Some people mix the whole lot and put it in the fridge depending how many birds. I prefer to do it this way. You learn something from every breeder. And what I've got over here is mung beans and a finch mix. And what I've done is I've sprouted it, and listening to Alan Fenwick and watching what he does, what I do is use the spirulina in the water that I'm sprouting with, and then it's absorbed into the seeds. I find the parrots especially like the mung beans, and so do the canaries, but they all take to it. Sometimes I put it in the mixer with the eggs so that it cuts some of it up. Now I'm just going to put this in. And then I've got any cage birds in a cage rather than the aviary, like the canaries. I just put it in one of these, and I'll put it in about 4 o'clock when I get up the next morning. There's none left in the canaries. And if I've got any cage Gouldians during the breeding, I do that as well. And that's the wet that they're going to get daily, and this is the dry food. But as I said, with the dry food, sometimes I put a bowl in there and mix this in, put the normal seed in, and then I mix some of this in with it, so they get it. Use this in the water for all of them, especially for the blue Gouldians. And that's it. Thanks.